computer.
Wait.
This is Julie, and I am here to start a cooking revolution. And I'm here with my friend Linda again, that she's got another CSA box and wants to use up some of the ingredients. So, or some of the produce, more than ingredients, they're produce. So we're gonna make something a little bit different today. And Linda, did you get, we're gonna make miso. It's a garlic miso glazed beets and greens. And did you get did you get all those ingredients?
So I have my turnip greens from my fall turnips, my young turnips, and I've got these radish tops as well.
Okay. Is that all the greens that you wanted? Because didn't you have some spicy?
I do have some spicy greens. Do you think I should use those and save these turnip tops for like the chermoula that we've made before? That's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to make the chermoula with those things. Because
Okay,
the
good.
spicy greens, because the miso is going to help to, tone down that spiciness on those greens. Because you said, was it last week you had some and it was just so spicy?
They were so bitter. I mean, it's so good for you, but I was like, I don't know if I can eat this. And I had some chermoula. I was like, yay, I got to. But this is bitter.
So
all right.
Do you want to run down? I think that's all. That's the only thing we're going to make today. I know we talked about doing some other things as well.
Beets.
Oh, that's your beets. Yeah. You use gold beet? I mean, red beets. I have gold beets.
Oh,
really
pretty. Love it.
I have one red beet, but I decided I wanted it all to be gold. And anyway, so.
Beautiful.
And you need to get your miso. You have to get miso?
I have to get my miso. So
okay.
my refrigerator's on the fritz, and I have to go downstairs to my second refrigerator, which I got when I had CSA boxes before and had so many vegetables. So I have to go down there and get them. So get the miso and my spicy greens. Yes?
And your spicy greens. Yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right. So I'm going to just get started, and I'm going to, like I said, we were thinking to do something else, but we decided that we're just going to do the beets, the miso glazed beets and greens. And I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to switch out my skillets. So I'm just going to get started with the beets. Oh, put on my gloves. So yeah, before we came on, we started talking about what all we were going to do, and we realized that maybe it was too much to try to do all in this time period, because we have the limited amount of time. We don't want to spend too much time. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to have to tilt my screen because, there we go. I was just going to start chopping up my beets. Oh, you got miso. Yay.
It's chickpea though.
Oh, that's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
So works. I've got the regular stuff. But what I was just saying, Linda, is that I'm going to peel the beets.
Okay.
You can use a peeler, or you can just cut them off with your knife, whatever you want to do. And we're going to cube them, not too small, but you don't want them too big because it'll take a long time. We're cooking them in a skillet. You're also going to put some extra virgin olive oil in your skillet. And I need to move my phone there. All righty. I don't want to turn it on yet, but anyway, I'm going to just cut tilt the screen down.
Awesome.
There we go, so you can see what's going on. I'm going to cut. Ooh, these are really pretty. You can see the lines in there.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that end looks even better. So
wow,
really nice. And do this one. And like I said, you can use a peeler if you want. Ah, look at that. It's got red in it. Really pretty. I love the gold beets. I mean, the red ones are good, but the gold ones are just so pretty. And I like putting them in soups, like well, I've done summer soups with cubed beets, and it just looks like jewels in your soup.
Oh, wow.
So that they have such that beautiful gold color.
Nice.
So, yeah, if you put red beets in a soup, then you've got a red soup.
Yeah.
So you don't, you can't put anything else in there that you want to see because it's all going to turn red.
That's
Which
right.
is good. I mean, if that's what you want. Like, I make a, forgot what it's like a roasted beet soup, and it's red, and you puree it, and it's just so good and beautiful. And all right, so just gonna cut it. The way I cut it is I lay it on the side instead of, because they're kind of tall. This one I'll do like this, but this one was tall, so I laid it on its side and cut it in thirds.
Okay.
And lay it flat again, and then I cut maybe 3, probably I think 4, and then just cube it. So I've got pieces about this size.
Okay.
Some of them a little smaller, some of them a little bigger. And you've cooked enough with me, Linda, that you know that I'm just not that picky about the exact size. So just a general ballpark. That's all you need.
I love that. You give so much creative license that way. It's like,
yeah.
Hey, what way would you like them today? Try that out,
Yeah, and and it's up to you. If you want it smaller, that's fine. If you want it bigger, that's fine. It just, when they're bigger, it takes longer to cook. And
right.
I really want it to cook, as quickly as possible. So
okay.
Most people don't want to be in the kitchen for a huge amount of time. And I really don't mind. Sometimes I look at how long I'm in the kitchen and I think, wow, I didn't know I was in there, but I'm having so much fun that just pulling things out and putting them together, and sometimes changing my mind halfway through it and saying, oh, I don't want that anymore, and put that back in the refrigerator and put something else in it instead, or add a different seasoning. Or I think not too long ago I cooked some black beans or I put some black beans to soak in the morning, but I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with them. I thought it was going to be tacos, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was going to be. And by that afternoon, it all fell together. Oops, there's some more peels on this one. But it wasn't anything what I had imagined in the morning. I mean, actually, I hadn't really imagined anything in the morning. Just kind of came later. All right, there. I had a little side that was hiding, and I didn't see that I still had peels on that side. There we go. All right, so you could go ahead and turn your burner on, because we're going to put the beets to cook to start, because it's going to take, it'll probably take at least 10 minutes for them to cook.
Okay. How much oil, Julie?
I'd say probably about a tablespoon.
And medium heat?
Medium heat, yeah.
All right. I've all cooked my tablespoon.
Okay.
You're rubbing off on me.
You get the wrong burner. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to let these cook. And while they're cooking, I'm going to get rid of this, the peels here out of my way. Here. I was about to put it in the bowl that we're going to make the miso sauce in, but that wouldn't be a good idea. All right, so as soon as the pan gets warm, you want to put the beets in. And then we're going to go ahead and get our greens ready. So if you're going to want to probably chop them a little bit. Linda's using, do you want to show us your greens that you have?
We had another plot twist. So I share my CSA with a friend and I grabbed a bag that I thought was the spicy greens, but it's spinach.
Oh.
So I don't know if we want to wait to toss that later or if I should just go ahead and use my turnip greens. Is that going to be?
Go ahead and use either the turnips or the radish, whichever one.
All right. It won't be too like challenging to enjoy raw if we use the turnips.
It's going to be sauteed.
Oh, they are. Okay.
We're going to saute it after the beets cook.
All right. I'm going to do that then.
We're gonna saute it with the beets for a little bit.
How about this much then, Julie?
That should be good. So you just want to chop that and then set it. We're gonna set it aside until the beets are almost ready.
So what you mean is I'm gonna take the stems off the leaf.
You can use the stems too.
Okay, great. I thought I heard you chop them, so excuse me. All right, I'm using the stems.
All right, yeah, you can use the stems. And if you want to cut the stems off, and go ahead and put them in with the beets, you can do that.
Okay, great.
That'll give them a little more time to cook.
Okay.
I was going to say that I don't have any of those greens, but I have some collard greens that I actually really need to cook. There's a couple that look a little bit iffy in there. I've had them since, I used half of them, but I've had them since last Saturday. So I'm just going to roughly chop these. It doesn't have to be strips. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, just a rough chop. And like I said, when the beets are almost done, we're going to add the greens. But I like to go ahead and have them ready to go so that when it's time, they're chopped. And I don't have to quickly chop them up. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back in that container that I had them in. And there, do a little bit more. You know, if it looks like you want to chop it a little bit more, then go ahead. I don't want any really big chunky pieces or really long strands. I think that'll be good. And to be honest, Linda, I've actually never made this before. So
nothing like experimenting on me.
But it sounds good. In the last couple of weeks, I've made miso glazed. The first thing I made was a miso glazed mixed string beans. I had green beans, and I had wax beans, and I had dragon tongue beans. And one of the farms sells them. I mean, the way it is now is you can't go and pick what you want. So they have everything kind of bagged up, or that looks good. I maybe chop it a little bit. Have you chopped it some?
Yeah, I chopped it.
Or chop a little bit more.
Okay, that's a little bit too big.
Good. That's good.
Okay.
So anyway, they had a bag of these mixed mixed beans, and it was a pound, and I don't want to make a whole pound, so I did a half of it one way, and the other half I decided to try this it was garlic miso glaze. So I did that, and it was so good.
Mm.
And then I had some turnips, some of the salad turnips like you have.
Yummy.
And I wedged those and cooked them and kind of browned them and did a ginger miso glaze on them. And they were so good. I ate the whole, I mean, between my husband and me, we ate the whole thing that night. So it was really delicious. So I thought, well, you know, a glaze would be really good with beets and greens.
Sure.
So let's do it. All right. So while the beets are cooking and we've got our greens cut,
yep,
we are going to make our glaze.
Awesome.
So you get a bowl, and get a spoon, and I'm going to get my miso. And I have regular soy miso. I make sure that it's organic. So you want to make sure that your soy is organic.
Yep.
Because most of the soy that's in this country is genetically modified. And I'm going to go off a little bit on that. You know, the food industry has decided that they're going to change the name of genetically modified or genetically engineered to bioengineered. So now it's called bioengineered, and their label is like a sun that says BE on the inside. So it looks like it's something really nice. Yeah. So if you see any food that has a label on it that says B inside of a sun, BE, not good. So anyway, organic soy products, always, always, always. So this is just a white, mellow white. So it's really mild. It lasts for a long time because it's fermented soy. So, you know, when things are fermented, they stay good for a long time. So, and you have what? Tell us about what you have.
Chickpea. I have chickpea miso.
Yeah.
Looks like this.
Oh yeah, cool. So,
and it smells like a little bit like soy, kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like peanut butter. Well, this looks like peanut butter too. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm gonna use about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. And you see that I'm not using yeah, that looks good. I'm not using a measuring tablespoon. I don't think I need it. And this burner is warm here against my arm. Stir that. My beets are getting a little brown, which is okay, but I don't want them to get too brown, so I need to turn it down a little bit. I forgot to tell you, Linda, we need either lemon or lime. Do you have that?
I have both.
Okay. I think lemon would probably be good.
Okay.
So we're going to squeeze some lemon in here. Probably about a tablespoon. I don't know if I've got a tablespoon in this one, but I've got another lemon I can cut. And I'm not measuring it, so I'm just squeezing it in.
Cheating. I'm cheating.
Okay. That's
Costco has this, and it's like really cost-effective organic, so I'm going to use that.
Well, you know, we have lemons here, lemons and limes here that are grown here, so you know that we're fortunate that way. And I've got pulp in it, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to get another lemon. I'm going to be out of the picture for just a minute or two, or not less than that, a few seconds. And another thing, if you do buy your lemons, I know most people would think like lemons and other citrus that it would be okay to not get them organic. However, most non-organic lemons, unless you know the people growing them, are sprayed. So that spray is on the peels. So if you ever want to zest anything, make sure that you're using organic. But I know the people that grow these are not certified organic, and they don't spray. So I feel confident using them. I mean, we're not zesting it anyway, but.
You're not? What are you doing now? Because I added a tablespoon into my bowl of the lemon juice. Am I adding some more?
I'm getting another lemon because that one I didn't have enough juice in.
Oh, okay. So I added more lemon juice to it. But
oh well, it'll be okay.
I'll drink the rest here.
There. I think that's going to be good. And if you feel like it's too liquidy, you can always add more miso to it.
Okay.
So, I need to rescue a couple of seeds out of here. So there we go. Yeah, I had to put gloves on. My fingertips are really cracked. And so whenever I use lemon or lime or anything like that, it hurts. So that's why I've got gloves on. All right, so there, the lemon is in there. Now we're gonna, oh, there's another seed. Oh no, that's not a seed. That was miso. It was shaped like a seed. I was like, another seed. Now we're gonna put some honey in it.
Okay.
You gotta have some honey to glaze it. Or you can use maple syrup if you don't want to use honey.
Honey's good.
And another tablespoon or so. And we get the small size, as you can see. We get this at the farmer's market too. This is 5 pounds, and we go through this in about 6 weeks. So my husband likes honey on peanut butter and almond butter and bread and crackers. And, you know, he's from South America, and he feels like he has to have tea time at least twice a day. And tea time, you have to have some kind of cracker with honey on it, apparently. All right, so we're going to mix that up. And then we're going to put, do you want ginger or garlic?
Garlic, because I have no ginger.
Okay, how about garlic? That sounds good.
Sounds great.
Okay, so a couple, you know, 1, 2, 4, however many cloves you want to put in there, Linda.
You know me.
So,
if it calls for 1, I use 3.
so you can see that it's still a loose, you know, it's not a glaze right now because we're going to put it in at the end and just kind of stir it together briefly on the heat. I'm going to get some garlic, and I'm going to check the beets. Let's see. Yeah, they're still pretty firm. And they're browning more than I want them to brown. As I said, I've never made this before, so we're seeing the creative juices flowing.
Yeah. Awesome.
I feel like it'll work, so we're gonna do it.
There we go.
All right. I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to my skillet to help them cook, and it'll keep them from browning. What do I have? I'm gonna have to get something to, I don't have any empty bowls sitting around. Just a little bit, not a lot. There. So probably by the time this water has cooked out, they'll be ready to add the greens. So, all right, now let's do the garlic.
Chop, chop, chop.
There we go.
We want to mince it or leave it kind of coarse?
However you want. You know, I leave the garlic a little bit bigger than.
Yay! That's what I want to do.
Okay, so if you've never seen how to do to get the skin off of the garlic, you just lay it down, put your knife flat on top of it, and hit. And yeah, there's a fancy garlic roller or something like that you put the garlic in and roll it. But I don't really see a need to spend anything on a gadget. Oh, I was going to leave it down. Sorry, up and down, so we can chop. I think also, is your miso, does it have salt in it?
I don't think so. Let me look.
Because regular miso usually is a little bit salty, so I tend to not put salt, or if I do, just a little bit.
Oh, there's salt in here. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so maybe we don't want to put any more salt into the glaze.
Okay.
All right, there. So we're just gonna have that stirred. How are your beets? Are they getting soft or not yet?
Yeah, they're they're al dente.
Okay, that should be good. I think you've got red beets, right?
I read these.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think these are good. All the water, all the liquid has already cooked off of this. They're good. You know, beets, you can eat beets, not cooked all the way. They may be a little bit crunchy.
They're crunchy.
I'm gonna add, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil because I want the greens to saute a little bit too.
Great.
So I just drizzled a little bit more olive oil and now I'm gonna put my greens in there.
Okay.
I don't know, it already smells good. Maybe it's just the garlic and the and the miso and the honey that I smell.
Is this the consistency, Julie?
I would put a little bit more miso in there because this is like, can you see the consistency of mine?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That extra lemon juice that you put in there probably is too.
That's all right.
Yeah,
And then
okay. You can always fix it.
I bet it's the case that if I don't want to put it all in, this dressing would be good on something, right?
Yeah, you're right. That would be that's an excellent salad dressing right there.
Really?
And if you don't think that you like miso or you've had miso before and you don't like it, you could use tahini instead. That would give it a completely different flavor. And tahini is a great salad dressing ingredient as well. All right, so, oh, this is pretty. See the little gold beets and the green of the collards. We just want to cook the greens until they're starting to wilt. You know, you don't want them. You know, imagine seeing cooked spinach that's just like all falling apart. That you don't want that. You just want them starting to wilt and get soft.
Okay.
And then we're gonna stir in the miso and just kind of toss it in and briefly heat it just to kind of get it glazy.
Only after your greens get soft though, right?
What?
Only after your greens get soft do you
Right.
add the miso.
Right. Because you want everything to be done before you add the miso. Because actually, you don't want, miso has a lot of, you know, nutritional qualities that are good. I mean, for one, it's fermented, and fermented food is good for your gut. But miso in general has a lot of really good. I don't know all the details. I don't know if Linda. I don't worry about all the details. I just know that if you're eating fresh, whole food, that that it's nutrition. You've got good nutrition. So anyway, if you heat miso, you lose some of the properties that make it good for you. So you don't want to heat it for too long. All right, I am ready to put my glaze in. So how are your greens, Linda? Are they okay?
My greens are wilted but not completely cooked.
I think they look good.
Okay.
I mean, if you want them more, then go ahead and do more. But I think they look good. I'm going to just, okay. I don't have the camera over here, so I'm just going to tilt so you can see that I'm adding it in. And you add however much you think looks right. I mean, if it looks like it's too much, then don't add any more.
I love it.
Sure. And then I'm just going to stir it in. It actually looks like I've got like a peanut butter in here.
Smells great.
Oh, it smells so good. I might have this for lunch. I haven't had lunch yet. Ah, mine's done, Linda. I'm going to pick this up and try to show you. You can see there.
Ooh, lovely.
So, yeah, I'll get a fork and try that. So I've already turned off the heat. And here. Of course, it's going to be too hot for me to put it in my mouth, but I'm going to try it. So I got a beet and a piece of greens, but I've got to blow it. Put this up now. All right. See how this goes. Mmm. Oh, it smells so good.
So as far as the flavor, Julie, it's really light with the, you know, it's not like it's a strong flavor. And I feel like that's probably about right, but I could add a little bit more miso. Would you think that?
Sure, you could do that. Or if you want to add some other seasoning, maybe you want to add some black pepper to it, or let me think, red pepper flakes would go with it.
Oh, I think that sounds very exciting. Yes.
So, because the miso, hard to know since I'm not tasting yours, but you don't want it to be a dominant. You want it to just be part of the blend.
Right.
You know, you want to taste the sweetness of the honey. You want to taste kind of the tartness of the lemon juice, and then the umami-ness of, which is savory, of the miso. So maybe you want to throw in, like I said, the red pepper flakes. Oh, nice. Yeah, and you've got bigger size beets than I had.
Yeah. So I almost feel like I need more greens, and that because of that, how done they are, they're pretty crunchy, chewy, you know. And these stems that I put in earlier probably needed to cut them a little smaller. They're crunchy, but that's okay. But I could probably add those radish tops now and just let it saute a little bit more if I cut them. Really
you could do that. But if you do that, you're probably going to want to add more of the miso sauce.
Do you think that this would be too much greens added for this amount of miso that I have? Probably. I need to make some more then.
Yeah, I would make a little bit more.
All right. Or maybe, is this the right amount to make chermoula? Because maybe I should do that.
Chermoula with that.
I'm going to do chermoula.
Yeah. You could even, are you going to pour the rest of the miso in your skillet?
I am.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to do then is when I get to those other spicy greens, I'm going to just cook this a little bit more and use it up.
Yeah, on the spicy greens, I might even suggest braising them to get some of it, because if you braise them, that's going to cook some of the spiciness out of them.
It's a lot of liquid in this pan.
There's a lot of liquid?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're going to need to just cook it because you don't really want it to be liquidy.
Okay.
You want it to be like a glaze.
Okay.
So just cook it until some of that liquid cooks out. It shouldn't take too long.
Medium, high again? Medium?
Yeah, I do medium.
Okay. I love it. This has been really fun. These will be great.
And as I said, I'm going to have this, I think, for lunch. And I'm going to take a taste of my miso glaze. Good. Good, good, good.
Is that your meal then? Or are you going to have some? Is that your meal, or are you going to have something else with it?
I've got a lot of leftovers right now, so I think I'm probably going to pull some. I had some curry lentils and some rice.
Okay. Yum.
And I'll probably have this with it. Since it's ready to eat, I'm not going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and eat some. Although I don't think I'll be able to eat all of it.
No.
Like those turnips. The turnips just were. I couldn't imagine putting them in the refrigerator.
No.
Needed to eat them right then.
Yes.
So
this is so much fun.
Yeah, I was just gonna show because we were talking about making a soup with Linda, and then she realized that she didn't have some of the ingredients. So then we decided not to make the soup, and I was gonna use one of my tomatoes. I just wanted to show my tomato. This is an heirloom tomato. Looks a little bit like a butterfly.
So beautiful.
So pretty. Can't find these in the grocery store. I don't think I've ever seen any like that. People wouldn't buy them.
Right.
Because they're too strange.
So Julie, will you make a soup out of that single tomato then?
No, I'm actually going to make it into a sauce. I'm going to make polenta. I think we're going to have polenta tonight. And so I'm going to make like a tomato sauce. I had some peppers. I've got these Italian peppers. And I have these 2 tomatoes and 2 little tomatoes. So, and then a couple of Italian peppers that I'm going to put in it. But I was what I was going to, because you had basil and you had peppers and you had the tomatoes, I thought, okay, we're going to make I think you're going to be making pesto.
I think so too.
And you didn't have enough tomatoes really for the soup, so.
No, what I had were these heirlooms, kind of like Julie. So mine's look,
Yeah, yeah. I like that one. The ones that look like 2 were growing, they're like twins. Yeah, you got a cool one too.
And then I got this one.
Oh, pretty. I love, those are so pretty, that color.
And some sun golds.
Yeah. Well, I have to show you I've got some, I don't have sun golds, but I've got these little red cherries.
Ooh, yummy.
Oh,
Let's have
sweet. I ate a handful last night and they were so sweet. It was just amazing.
Let's have one.
So yeah, I have to wash mine. Well, I guess I don't have to. This farm I trust them.
Yum.
Tastes like summer.
Yeah, these are the last of the tomatoes here in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We got it.
We still have tomatoes and we still have summer. We're supposed to have more heat this weekend.
Wow.
So not as hot as last weekend, but. So.
All right. Julie, this has been so much fun.
Yeah. Can't wait till next time and we cook.
I can't wait either.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Like now I have a whole nother item in my repertoire.
Yeah, I hope you like it. And next time we'll come up with something new to make. And until then, let's get out there and start a cooking revolution. Bye.
Bye.
Can't use that. There we go.